Hey everybody, it's Minius, and some information came to my attention last night thanks to Oleg. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late for me to do much about it. I'll get into that at the end of this video. But Titan Books has released another book guide, this time with an updated look at the upcoming plan for Mass Effect Andromeda related novels. If you scroll down to page 8 of the PDF, for which there is a link in the description box, you will come across the Mass Effect section. It's got a somewhat tweaked introduction, which I will now read in my broadcaster-like voice. With the new game, Mass Effect Andromeda, set for release in 2017, the launch of a new series of Mass Effect novels is timely. The new game will take the story in a dramatic new direction, and is set in a new region of space with a new and deadly enemy. Titan will publish 4 unmissable Mass Effect novels, sure to appeal to the game's huge number of fans. The game Mass Effect has won numerous awards, including Best Story, Best Voice Acting, Best Original Music, and, from the New York Times, Game of the Year. The novels will act as prequel and sequels to the events in the games, and will become part of the overarching Mass Effect saga. These new stories, developed in close collaboration with the BioWare game team, weave directly into the action of the new game and reveal events kept secret over the course of gameplay, which add to the canonical Mass Effect saga.
Impressive.
3 of these 4 books now have authors attached to them, and they've seemed to put together an intriguing collection of both accomplished sci-fi and fantasy writers who are also fans of the Mass Effect series. Something Mac Walters said recently is that a lot of people working on Mass Effect Andromeda started off as Mass Effect fans. Now that could go either way as far as quality is concerned, but with these novels, they seem to have attracted some serious talent. At least authors who have had success writing their own stuff and are now willing to put that aside to write video game books, which is incredible, really. Interestingly enough, the one book we knew about ahead of time, which was originally slated for August of this year, the N.K. Jemisin book, now titled Mass Effect Andromeda Initiative, is now scheduled for fall of next year. That book will be the official prequel to the Andromeda game, and the fall timing may not be great with that. I was under the impression that that specific book was already complete, but apparently not. 2 other books, though, will be coming out ahead of that one. First, Mass Effect Andromeda Nexus Uprising by Jason Huff and Casey Alexander is slated for March of 2017. We seem pretty sure at this point that the game itself will launch on March 21st, so it might be a good idea for this book to come out early March. At least that's probably when it's going to get the most interest from fans who will have their hands full with the game towards the end of the month. It's tough to take too much from this title. The word Nexus has a very sci-fi feel, pretty much having to do with connecting points or things, or being a central point. There is a cluster or region of space in the Milky Way called the Hades Nexus, so this title's Nexus might be in line with that, but let's look at the description. Jason Huff is the New York Times bestselling author of The Darwin Elevator, Dire Earth Cycle, and Zero World. He has been a 3D artist, animator, and game designer for Metal Fatigue, Aliens vs. Predator, and others. Casey Alexander is the author of Paranormal Romances and the steampunk adventure The St. Croix Chronicles. She is an avid player of Mass Effect and has logged more than 500 hours on the game. Sounds like a lot of us. The next book, slated for summer of 2017, is called Mass Effect Andromeda Lost Ark by Catherine Valenti. Many of you are familiar with the fact that the former residents of the Milky Way are going to be taking a sort of fleet of Ark ships to Andromeda, and given the extreme precision needed for ships to stay together over a long journey, it makes plenty of sense for one of these ships to end up on their own. And how freaked out would you be if you were heading to another galaxy in a fleet and then found yourself completely alone? That right there has me interested in this book, just from the basic concept.
I believe you.
It's also possible, given this plot and the scheduled release time of summer 2017, that there's some kind of DLC tie-in. At least I could easily see Ryder and friends on a mission to track down a missing Ark ship, and this could be the story of that ship, though there's a chance I'm reading way too much into that title. The description, though. Catherine Valenti is an acclaimed New York Times bestselling author of fantasy and science fiction novels, short stories, and poetry, including Palimpsest, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. She has won or been nominated for every major award in the field, including the Hugo Award 4 times, Nebula Award 2 times, Locus Award 5 times, World Fantasy Award 4 times, and the James Tiptree Jr. Award. She is a huge Mass Effect fan and player. Again here, the emphasis on being a fan of the Mass Effect series. We've chatted a bit in previous videos about N.K. Jemisin, also a fan of BioWare. She's done game reviews, including one of Dragon Age Inquisition. Hopefully we'll get more information on what happened to the scheduling of her book in the near future. The final book, though, is slated for summer of 2018, so way out there. The first Titan Books PDF had this book written by Mass Effect creative director Mac Walters, though as you can see now, no author is attached to it. Mac's doing comics and running a game and might have a bit much on his plate. One thing to keep in mind here, though, is that the last Titan Books guide with Mass Effect novels had out-of-date information, even at the time. It said specifically that the game would be releasing in 2016, and at that point, it had been officially delayed, so perhaps this information isn't up to the minute accurate. So consider this simply an update of the current plan to release Mass Effect novels, not at all final. As soon as we get solid official information, I'll be sure to bring it to you. There have been a number of little news items I haven't exactly been sure on how to cover, so I'm going to be doing a channel update video on Tuesday to talk about how to tackle this stuff. But if you like this video, please give it a like. It really helps out the channel. Keep an eye on Minius GC for more Mass Effect news, as well as other Mass Effect videos. But for now,
have a pleasant day.